And Mind Crypto here. I hope we're all having a wonderful day. Please remember, I am not a financial advisor and none of this is financial advice, and none of the information provided in this video should ever be seen or taken as a signal to buy or to sell. But first and foremost, we look at these crypto bubbles, and as we can see, blimey, it's looking red today. But we don't care if you're here for the long term, like I am. These do not matter to me, even though I use these bubbles as a daily update to keep you informed. As you can see, Quant is up one rank to 73 with a market cap of $1.4 billion. Current price of Quant at the moment is $116 with a 24-hour volume of $23 million. Currently up 0.1% in the hour, down 4.2% in the day, and 13.9% in the week. But we move over to Crypto Quant, and I have an admission. I made a bit of a booby yesterday in yesterday's video with regards to my prediction or my personal opinion on where we could go in the near future with regards to the spot exchange reserves. So I do apologize. I did delete the video because I thought, well, I don't want to put out any misinformation. But as you can see, we are currently with 242,000 left on the spot exchange. And as you can see, we're still seeing this general decline. My mistake was here. Now, as you can see, I made a prediction here that possibly July we will see a supply shock at some point, but I made a booby looking at this. This is actually in quarterly sections, so I had to change these. So actually it will be slightly later. So as you can see, the trend lines here following the same trend as we see the Quant leave the spot exchanges on reserve. So my dates were wrong down here. I'd had them monthly rather than quarterly. So I changed them back to quarterly so we can reassess them. So I do apologize. I hope you can forgive me. So if we look here, we can see we're actually just in April, which is the center down here. And if we move slowly and if we follow this similar trend like so, we will find that we might hit around sort of September, October, November time, dependent on what happens in the market, what news comes out, because there's so much news coming out at the moment. So also it will depend on what level is going to be seen as a level where people feel that it's running out. The scarcity kicks in. Will that hit? I put it the line at around 125,000 left on spot exchange, which would hit around October time. But this may come before, dependent on news. So dependent on news, this line may increase so that it's maybe 200,000, or it could be lower, just under that psychological 100,000 quant left on exchanges, which might move it into November, December, January time before we see anything. But as I've already said, any news from Quant could literally move that very, very quickly, because we're moving into this slow decline of Quant, and we've seen it decline over the last couple of years from big numbers down to the numbers we're seeing today. So again, just for clarity, I do apologize. I removed the video because I don't want to put out any misinformation out there. But we move on and we see on Arkham Intelligence. And as we can see, within the last 6 hours, we've seen BitVavo move substantial amounts, 2,369 quant off the exchange into their private wallet. Now, BitVavo are moving loads and loads. This particular wallet, I can trace it back around about 20 different private wallets from where it started. This moves into their big wallet, which holds well over $20 million worth of quant. But we also see Wintermute moving funds, 1,336 quant, which is $157,000, moving it from Binance to their market makers wallet. So I don't normally report on these because, to be honest, I only like the wallets where they go into the wallets and they're not leaving. And most of the wallets that I follow don't have any ETH in them, which is suggestive that they're not going to be moving out. It's, not a market maker. And we're presuming that they could be licensed wallets, which we think they are. So we move over to here. So new wallet alert. I found this wallet yesterday, 3 texts, 2 times CB to private wallet and 1 wallet to wallet transfer. First text negligible, which was 0.8 quant. Then there was 1,293 quant. Then a further transfer from wallet to wallet of 500 from another dormant wallet into this particular wallet. Total wallet now holds 1,794 quant. Will we see this increase? I'm generally seeing them increase over time, so I will keep an eye on this. As I've said, that there's no ETH added to this wallet, so hopefully we'll see this increase. And will this be one of those licensed lockup wallets? You never know. Then we see this. Now, this is very interesting. Now, I've seen IndoEx making so many small transactions. They're racking up with small transactions. Now, in the last 6 days, because I'll update this weekly, IndoDAX have accumulated 1,254 quant with 25 texts from Binance Hot Wallet. The IndoDAX main wallets, there's two of them that I follow, hold 34,000 quants over two wallets. So also, this then makes me think of Project Garuda, the Bank of Indonesia, and their CBDC, their WCBDC. There is lots of documentation where the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements, are talking to them, and we can see information like this. So the Bank of Indonesia plans to issue CBDC as a response to three key drivers. First, emphasize Bank of Indonesia's role as a country's sole authority for currency issuance, including digital form, to maintain monetary sovereignty. Second, to take part in international initiatives among central banks or international organizations. And this was actually a document produced by the Bank of International Settlements. So all looking very, very interesting. Then we go over to here. Now I see this from Confidential. The projects build on unified ledger concept proposed by the Bank of International Settlements will investigate how tokenized commercial bank deposits can be seamlessly integrated with tokenized wholesale central bank money in a public-private programmable core financial platform. This is in relation to the BIS central banks and private sector are embarking on Project Agora to explore tokenization of cross-border payments, and the Banque de France, Bank of Japan, several other banks, including the Bank of England. Now, if we look at this Ledger Insights report, the BIS Innovation Hub unveiled its most ambitious project to date. 7 central banks involved in cross-border payments tokenization project, plus tokenized deposits. We've got USD, we've got Euro, GBP, GPY, CHF, the one MX dollar. And we can see all of these, the tokenized deposits, central bank deposits. And if we look at the actual report itself, we can see today the Bank of International Settlements Innovation Hub unveils Project Agora, a major initiative aiming to tokenize cross-border payments. This is the first project in line with its concept of a unified ledger. It seeks to unite 7 central banks and commercial banks on a shared programmable infrastructure to facilitate cross-border transactions. We believe tokenization represents the next frontier in digitalization of money and payments. Agora stands out as the most ambitious project undertaken by the BIS Innovation Hub to date, said Cecilia Skingsley, head of BIS Innovation Hub. Unlike other BIS Innovation Hub initiatives, which are considered exploratory, this one is on another level. The project will encompass most of the major currencies, including USD, Euro, GBP, and Yen. Consequently, the participating central banks are the Bank of France, the Bank of Japan, the Bank of Korea, the Bank of Mexico, the Swiss National Bank, Bank of England, and the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Project Agora is envisioned as a public-private partnership. Therefore, a call for private sector participation is imminent. With the Institute of International Finance orchestrated the collaboration, the BIS explains tokenization as the integration of records with rules and logic governing them through smart contracts. From another perspective, for payments, it merges the transaction message with actual movement of funds. The approach significantly reduces the time and resources spent on back office reconciliations. And why cross-border payments? The G20 has thoroughly examined factors contributed to the high cost of cross-border payments, such as the reliance on correspondent banks, compliance expenses, regulatory differences, and operating hours. A press briefing highlighted the potential for compliance cost reductions on shared infrastructure, where activities like Know Your Customer and anti-money laundering checks could be streamlined. As previously demonstrated, the burden of AML compliance is significant, albeit necessary, expense for banks, suggesting the efficiency gains here could be impactful. DLT still looks unlikely, whilst tokenization often goes hand in hand with blockchain. Central bank involvement implies a preference for centralized model of consensus to maintain control over payments. Despite this, smart contracts will still operate on a centralized ledger. So far, the BIS has taken the position of focusing on functionality rather than technology. And we can see here the objective here is to perfect financial intermediation. We know that that's scalable. We know that that works. This is a big leap compared to these other blockchain-based innovation attempts, which are clearly very interesting. But as we wrote about many times in our publication, if you're trying to achieve settlement through decentralized consensus, this is a very difficult challenge to overcome. This is the reason why we believe this is much more promising as a way to solve real-world problems rather than previous attempts. Other cross-border CBDC initiatives exist, but the only one nearing production is mBridge. Now, we know all about mBridge, involving the central banks of China, Thailand, Hong Kong, and the UAE. Unlike mBridge, Project Agora includes the pivotal international currency, the dollar. But we go back to Confidential's post here, and it's relating to what we just talked about here, and a little bit of a jibe at Link. Safe to say, CCIP is not powering these central banks anytime soon. And you can see Sergey say here, a unified ledger assumes that all your counterparties will adopt a single technology. That's like saying all your counterparties will use a single database. Why CCIP is needed to build the Internet of Contracts, which makes me laugh. The BIS will issue a call for expressions of interest to private financial institutions to join Project Agora. The IIF will act as the intermediary and convener of private sector participants. It is envisaged that several regulated financial institutions will participate, representing each of the seven currencies. Seven currencies, seven central banks, X commercial banks. Now that is a project. It's absolutely huge. So there you go, guys. Some really big news coming out. And obviously some interesting news coming out of Indonesia. What are they up to? Are they moving forward? Your guess is as good as mine. So there you go, guys. All the best, and I'll catch you later.